So I'm thinking, if I'm new to drift fishing, what's some of the basic information I would need to know to get started with some results? So I've put this little crash course on drifting together in a way that I think would have benefited me 10 years ago when I was looking for some good solid information on catfishing. And that's illustration along with some explanation. So hopefully we can accomplish this today. But what I want to give you today is what I think is the most valuable and useful information about the drifting to get you started and to get you some results. Keep in mind though, guys, this technique's generally used in deep water on the bigger rivers and reservoirs. And although you can catch fish year round on it, your most productive time is when the water temperature is between 60 and 80 degrees. As far as what rig to use, I like the Carolina rig, which consists of a 65-pound braided main line, 3 to 6 ounce egg sinker, barrel swivel, about 18 inches of 50-pound monofilament with a 8/0 Gamakatsu circle hook. Now there's always going to be room for variations once you get the hang of the basic technique, but I'll get into that a little later in some different videos in the future. But what I want to give you today will definitely get you started catching blue cats more consistently. Now I know it's hard to have confidence in something new, but once you've nailed a few fish on the drift, hell, you'll be wanting to throw your anchors away. Now what I want to do is clarify a little lingo pertaining to drift fishing, which is spots. When you're free drifting, your spot may be 1, 2, 3, up to 5 miles long. You're searching out fish. You're going to the fish instead of waiting for the fish to come to you. But here's the deal, and it's just like all aspects of fishing. You may float 2 miles downriver, take you an hour, and you're thinking there's nothing on this bank, I'm getting ready to move, and you run through a school of blues, and bam, you got 4 poles buried in the water. Now that's when the fun starts. Now when you run into a situation like that, you've got the school located, turn around, go back upriver, float right back through them again. Bam, you'll get nailed again. I remember a funny story a few years back. Run through a school of blues on a mussel bed. 3 of my poles went down. My buddy in the back caught his fish. I reeled what I thought was one of my 2 fish in. Got him to the boat, and he had 2 hooks in his face. I guess he swam by and looked at one bait, grabbed one bait, and went to the other bait. Must have been hungry, but that's the first time I ever seen that happen.
That one's barely in it, and that one's in the top by his eye. One there, one there.
2 hooks and 1 fish.
Neither one of them, he's barely in there.
He swam by and ate one, then grabbed the other one, didn't he?
Yeah.
Okay, well, let's get started. Let me show you how I want you to fish the Carolina rig. There'll be a couple pictures that'll kind of flash through here in a few minutes that kind of hopefully will help you understand what's going on underneath the boat, what we want it to look like when we're actually fishing, what the catfish are going to see. But anyway, drop your rig over the side of the boat, let your sinker hit the bottom. Once you do that, give your reel a few cranks, 2 or 3 cranks. Going to get you 2 or 3 foot up off the bottom. I mean, you kind of have to judge what your reel takes up at each crank. So there are times that you will need to know at what depth you're fishing, but for the most part, when you're just first starting out, if you keep that bait 3 to 5 foot up off the bottom, even up to 10 foot up off the bottom, if you're running through feeding fish, they're going to nail it regardless. It's that simple, guys. Let's recap real quick. First thing you want to do is drop your line over the side of the boat, let your sinker hit the bottom, put it in the rod holder, crank it up 3 or 4 times, 5 or 6, get it up off the bottom, and start your drift. Alright, let's move on to the next thing I would want to know if I was new to drift fishing. Where am I going to drift fish at? Channel bends. If you look on your river maps, you can find channel bends. They're a real good spot to start off at. We've always got deep water around it. A lot of times they'll have structure all around the channel bend. But remember, in reference of drift fishing, a spot may mean a 1, 2, 3 mile stretch of river. So, start at the best spot right in the channel bend. Drop your lines to the bottom, reel them up a few times, and take off. Use your trolling motor to stay on course, and use your depth finder to stay in the correct depth that you're fishing. My magic number seems to be right around 35, 40 foot mark. But don't be scared to try deeper, guys. I've caught fish in over 100 foot of water. Now, if my channel bend didn't pan out, I'd be looking for some humps in the river. Drifting the humps sometimes pays off, especially if you can find a hump close to the channel. Just like the channel bends, the humps are a unique piece of structure that just attracts fish. Now, you can catch big fish at either one of the two spots I've just shown you. They're just real good spots to try if you've never been to the particular body of water before. Try to locate you a couple spots like this. You'll catch some fish. Now, there's one more spot I want to give you that holds bigger fish a little more consistently, but it takes a little bit more boat control to be able to fish these types of spots. And what we're looking for are drops and ledges alongside the channel. This is where your trolling motor and depth finder come in handy to stay on course, stay right on top of the drop that comes off the ledge. That's where you're going to find your big brutes, your big monster cats. Okay, guys, my goal here was to touch on some points that I thought might be important to me if I were just getting started drift fishing. Hey, this is Steve Douglas, and this kind of concludes my little crash course on suspend drift fishing. If you got any questions or anything, hit me up on my blog, discovercatfishing.com, and I'll answer any questions I can for you. Alright, I'm going to end this little video with a little extra bonus here. Some of you guys may know about it, some of you may not, but I use it a lot before I go fishing, just kind of check things out. Where am I at? Hang on here. I go to Live Search Maps, find out where I want to go. I've used this all over the eastern United States last year. South Carolina, Illinois, Tennessee, Alabama. It's great. Let's see if I can make it work. Find you a spot you want to go to. Ohio River. You can kind of see the bends and shapes of the river. Kind of figure out where you want to go from there. But if you find something that'll interest you, like a nice channel bend, you can go in deep. I think you can go within 150 yards. Kind of give you an idea of the terrain that you're fishing. I guess just to it familiarizes me with where I'm going, especially if I'm going to new water. But I think this is a neat little tool you guys might be able to use. It's like this place right here, Big Bay. This would probably be a good spot to get some bait if you didn't know where you were going. That'd be one spot I'd try. Just kind of familiarize yourself with it before you go. That way you've got an idea of what you might be able to do. But I just thought this was a cool little thing you guys might be interested in to help you find some spots to do your drift fishing in. But you can zoom out, zoom in, run down the river 30 miles, find you another spot, zoom in on it. Here's a spot I found last year that was awesome. I don't know if you can see my little mouse or not, but there's an underwater point that comes out right here. Deep water on this side, deep water on this side. Good luck, guys. But remember, if you like this kind of information and want to learn more, be sure to sign up over on my blog, discovercatfishing.com. I also have sponsors that just give me stuff, so be sure to check back often for the free giveaways.